In this edition of RPP News, police appeal for help, locals meet state election candidates, and a new music festival hits the hill. Hello, I'm Catie Sharp. Welcome to the latest edition of RPP News, bringing you stories from across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. Police are appealing for public assistance with 2 traffic incidents this week in which people were seriously injured. The first incident involved a serious collision which occurred in Pearsdale on Thursday. Officers have been told a car was waiting to turn right from North Road into Middle Road at around 4 p.m. A car travelling along North Road ran into the back of the turning car and forced it into the wrong side of the road, where it was hit by oncoming traffic. The driver of the turning car, a woman in her 40s from Pearsdale, was taken to hospital in a critical condition. An 18-year-old woman from Mornington is currently assisting police with their inquiries. In the second incident, a pedestrian was struck by a car in Frankston on Friday night. Emergency services were called to Frankston Cranbourne Road near Beach Street at around 6:45 p.m. It's understood a pedestrian was crossing Frankston Cranbourne Road when they were struck by a white ute travelling westbound. A man, yet to be formally identified, was taken to hospital in a critical condition. The driver of the car stopped at the scene to assist. Anyone who witnessed either incident or who has dashcam footage is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, Mornington Police Station has come up with a way to support locals who have a loved one living with dementia or a vulnerability. They have compiled a dementia register for times a loved one leaves their residence and cannot recall how to get home. To register, the station only requires basic details, a recent image and family contact details so they can return loved ones home safely. You can complete the form in person at the Mornington Police Station or email mps-nhp-mgr@police.vic.gov.au. The Mornington Peninsula Shire's Shout Out for the Peninsula Forum series concluded in front of a full house in Mornington on Friday night. Over the past week, the Shire organised a series of forums of which Mayor Anthony Marsh was able to question the state government candidates on their views, pledges and commitments to the electorates of Hastings, Nepean and Mornington. Mayor Marsh told RPP the forums drew a great deal of interest and allowed the Shire to promote key issues for the next term of government.
We did our first one in Hastings, as you know, and I think the feedback we got is that the Shire can pull this event off with a lot of credibility as an impartial facilitator, and we've seen that over the last 2 days, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. I think we've put a lot of pressure on, and while we may not get all the pledges we want, you'll see come out next week in the paper, we've got a lot of policy support. So I think across 130 questions to 13 candidates, so 10 questions to 13 candidates that responded, we had over 90% support for advocacy in writing, which means regardless of any pledges, irrespective of which candidate gets in, we'll be able to advocate to them to say, well, look, you said you committed in writing to advocate in Parliament for this particular priority, and we can hold them to account for that. We played a role as effectively a platform, an independent facilitator. It's really critically important that the chair is impartial, and I think I am. So I think we earned respect from the audience and the candidates on that front. But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. We have a huge audience and huge reach. So even though the forum we had last night in Rosebud, for the Nepean district, we're only one night away and we've had over 1,500 views of that forum. So even though the room was pretty full, the amount of reach we have to be able to get the message of the candidates across the community is massive. And that means more people making a more informed vote. I just say it's competitive, and that's great. Particularly on the peninsula, I don't think we've ever seen this much competition, and that can't be bad for anyone that lives here.
Frankston is host to a stunning new sculpture near the former intersection of Eel Race Road and Nepean Highway. The sculptural glass tower and compass marker is by Matt Calvert, who is known for using waste materials that would otherwise end up in landfill. Titled Beacon, the piece celebrates the maritime history of Port Phillip Bay. The sculpture is 8 metres tall, made of Corten steel at the base and completed with a laminate plate glass, a waste product from the building industry. Located by the pedestrian underpass, the beacon reflects the many channel markers and beacons that have fringed the bay since Frankston was more accessible by boat than track, and the sea was a major thoroughfare. The heart of the peninsula is getting its own music festival. The Hinterland Festival is a new community music event set among the gum trees at Red Hill Recreation Reserve. With a focus on roots, folk, old country and more, artists will perform on 2 stages throughout the day. One stage will feature internationally touring and recording artists, while the other will be a hothouse of Mornington Peninsula-based talent. There'll be a craft beers, fine wines and spirits, food trucks and of course a coffee cart. Local groups including the Scouts and Lions Club will be there, with profits going back into the local community. Tickets are limited, so be sure to book before the day on the Hinterland Festival website. And Casey Donovan is bringing her Blues Day Tuesday sessions to the Frankston Arts Centre. Since winning Australian Idol at the age of 16, Casey has cemented her place as one of Australia's most versatile women of the stage and screen. This coming Thursday the 17th, she's bringing her powerful presence and voice to the stage in an intimate and personal show, performing her fans' most requested songs of all time. Ticket holders will be able to submit a song request prior to the performance. You can buy yours at the Frankston Arts Centre website. After the break, we have this week's weather report.
Everyone knows Australia has 4 big banks, but the 5th biggest retail bank is snapping at their heels. It's a bank that's been around for over 160 years, can be found in over 500 locations nationwide, looks after over 1.8 million customers, and is regularly voted one of the most trusted brands out of all the thousands of brands in Australia. Who is this fantastic number 5? Yep, it's Bendigo Bank. The better big bank.
Established in 1988, Progress Signs has been servicing the local community for 30 years. Located on the Mornington Peninsula, they are the #1 destination for all your signage needs, specialising in a variety of signage from vehicles to shop fronts, occasional and corporate events, short-term, long-term and everything in between. If it's signs you need, be it large or small, Progress Signs is the place to call. Available 24/7 at progress-signs.com.au or call the team on 5975 9188. Thinking signs? Think Progress Signs, a station sponsor.
Welcome back. Let's now turn to the weather. Today, Sunday the 13th of November, brought us a mostly wet day with a high of 25 and a low of 12. Monday sees another wet day across the peninsula. We are looking at a high of 19 and a low of 13. Tuesday sees the rain starting to ease with a high of 14 and a low of 9. Wednesday the 16th of November brings us a shower or two with a top of 15 and a low of 7. Thursday will be overcast with sunny patches. We will be warming up again to a high of 23 and a low of 8. Friday promises to be the best day of the week with a sunny high of 25 and a low of 8. And finally, Saturday sees some rain returning with a high of 25 and a low of 13. Let's now cross to our surf guru Muzz with this week's surf report.
Hey guys, Muzz here with this week's Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. We've had a pretty good week or so of waves, which has been a bit of a surprise for November, usually one of the more average months of the year, and we've had something for everyone this last week. So up until today, where the wind's just gone light onshore, but there's still swell around, so it's been one of those swells with a good interval and a good direction. So there's been waves on the beaches, waves at Flinders, and even small waves in Western Port, so most people have had a chance to get to surf. The week in front of us, it looks like it's going to maintain the same, although the possibility of it being onshore for 2 days and then Sunday might go offshore again. But by the looks of it, Tuesday we're going to get a really big kick in the swell. So the wind's going to be a west-northwest for most of the day. High tide in the usual middle of the day or late in the afternoon, and it's looking like it'll be pretty large. So it should be Western Port Bay pretty much all day Tuesday, especially over the high tide, and into Wednesday, although the wind will head more around to that southwest on Wednesday and the swell will back off a bit. Then come Thursday next week, the swell will be offshore and back to that sort of 4 to 6 foot size. So it should be something for everyone. Hopefully the water gets a bit better, but with rain coming again on the weekend, that's a bit doubtful. So, but everyone should be happy in a month that's usually pretty average. So far, have delivered the goods better than months that should have good wage. So hopefully get in the water, and we'll see you next week.
And that's all from our team here at RPP News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.